So one of you said that you are always going to suffer on your twin flame journey and you can't avoid pain on your twin flame journey. And I'm going to challenge that person that said that, and any of you who think that you have to go through suffering to attain harmonious union on your twin flame journey, or you have to like numb out, right? I know those of you watching my videos that are subscribed to my channel, you're not like the people that like to numb out, right? Like you're the people, you're my people, the people that are interested in growth, self-realization, and, you know, self-actualization and harmony with your twin flame. So I know that a lot of people think that, you know, the twin flame journey is really hard and there's a lot of suffering going on, and your twin flame might reflect back things to you that feel challenging or painful. But I'm here to tell you that you actually don't have to suffer, and you don't need to numb out either. And I'll explain how, but I want to tell a story first. So recently I had a really challenging medical situation arise. I don't care. I'll tell what I had. I had kidney stones. Oh my gosh. That was like the most painful experience I've ever had. And some people say that it's akin to having a baby, but worse. And I've never had a child, so I don't know. But people that have had children say that it's worse. So I believe them. I was doubled over in pain. Couldn't move. Basically, my animal instincts took over, and I was just like real shouting, rolling around. You know, it was insane. So I had to go to the emergency room, got some painkillers, realized the stone was too big to pass on its own, so I had to have surgery. So all this happened last week. So throughout the process, though, even though it was painful, I would say I didn't suffer. And I want to talk about the difference between pain and suffering, because that's important for you on the twin flame journey. Pain is like a physical sensation, right? Like it's your nerves, you know, getting activated because there's something physical happening to you. It can also be emotional pain where your nervous system is triggered or whatnot. Suffering, in my opinion, is like when you experience the pain or the story that you're telling about the pain over and over again in your mind, right? So it's like you're reliving that experience, or you're telling yourself a story about that experience, and it's creating more pain and suffering. So when you're on the twin flame journey and, like, for example, your twin flame blocks you or is dating someone else or friend zones you, and that might trigger you emotionally. Say hi to Cleo. Hi, Cleo. Good girl. Yeah. Emotional support animal there. So when those things trigger you, it might cause you some emotional pain. But the difference is, like, some people sit with that pain and kind of like live it and relive it over and over again because you're thinking about it over and over again, kind of like ruminating, and that's suffering. You don't have to experience suffering on the twin flame journey like that. You can acknowledge that it doesn't feel good that your twin flame has blocked you, or, oh, I'm getting like a lot of love from this girl. Hey, aw. You can acknowledge that your twin flame blocking you or being with someone else doesn't feel good. This is not about bypassing, but it is about realizing that you can take the situation back into your own locus of control and transmute that feeling into one of peace, despite what's going on the outside. So as Cleo is demonstrating to you, you can chill. You can sit down and chill. Yeah, girl. And you don't have to be hurting. So you wonder how do you prevent this suffering on the twin flame journey? And I talk about it in a lot of my videos. So practicing the teachings of union is how. Being around people who also practice the teachings of union is how. And that involves doing something called the mirror exercise, to take whatever is causing you harm in the external. All right, that's enough nudges, kitty. And transmuting that into love inside of you. It's not an activity where you're trying to numb out or make some kind of disrespect or painful situation seem less painful. It's just to love yourself where you're hurt, right? So that you don't have to hurt anymore over the same thing over and over again. Because I know when I started my twin flame journey that when my twin flame wasn't talking to me, I would get so upset, and it was like all I could think about. I would like hash it out again and again and ruminate on it again and again, and I couldn't think of anything else because that was like right in my face. But I was suffering. I was like, it was like kind of like in a state of like perpetual pain. And then I found the teachings of union online, and I started practicing them. I started watching the classes. I got a coach for myself, and I started practicing the mirror exercise. I started by writing it out. That's what I recommend to all of you, is write out the steps, because if you try to do it from within your own mind, it's like it's going to be slippery in there, because your mind has a certain gravity or magnetism, and it's going to try to tend to draw you back into your old patterns, right? So writing it down is really helpful. And working with my coach was really helpful too, because they were always sharing with me like where they could see where I was getting stuck, and I knew that they loved me and cared about me, and that they wanted the best for me. And so I trusted them to guide me, and that's what I desire to provide for my clients as well, is like that safe space and that safe person that is there to guide and support you in places that are very sensitive, because that's really important. So as I started practicing, I started being able to sleep through the night. I started being able to stop ruminating about my twin flame and just realize that he's just mirroring me. Him not talking to me or blocking me was reflecting where I wasn't talking to, and where I was blocking myself on some level. Like it happens in a very kind of like metaphorical sense in a way, but it's a very real thing. Like I was focusing so much on him that as my attention was taken onto him, it was leaving me and focusing on him. So it was creating this vacuum of attention in my heart. And that's why, because he's my mirror, this is why he wasn't paying attention to me, because I wasn't paying attention to me, right? And this is how it works. But you can't just spiritually bypass and be like, oh, well, I'll just start paying attention to myself and then my twin flame will love me. Yes and no, right? Like, you have to go to these places where you've been hurt and reveal them to yourself, and then love yourself there. And then those places are restored back to harmony, right? So that is, in a nutshell, what I wanted to share about suffering versus not suffering on the twin flame journey. And when I say that you don't have to suffer on the twin flame journey, I mean it. Like, the mirror exercise and the teachings of union will make you realize that you don't need to feel bad at any moment, no matter what your twin flame is doing. Even when I had kidney stones, yeah, I had a physical sensation that was like beyond comparison, so painful, but I didn't need to feel bad about it, emotionally bad. You know, when I went into the surgery, I was laughing. I was like, you guys got this, you know, like, you guys are all stars. And they put the mask over me, and I was like, okay, guys, peace out, I'm going. You know, it was really, I knew what I was saying. I wasn't like beyond myself on drugs or anything. Like, they did give me really strong painkillers, but I remember it very clearly because I wasn't suffering. Like, I trusted and I knew that I'd be cared for. And that's how I want you to feel on your twin flame journey too. And your twin flame journey doesn't have to even be painful like kidney stones, right? Like, maybe that's where the analogy breaks down. Like, there was a time when Josh wasn't talking to me, and it sucked for a few days. Like, I was really upset, and I felt like I was like, you know, gonna, you know, like, I don't know, explode or something, because I was so upset. But when I just set about doing the mirror exercise, and I'm like, oh, well, he's showing me this about me, that I treat myself this way, then I started feeling better, knowing that there was a rhyme and reason for why he was acting the way he was. And that's the beauty of twin flames, and no other relationship compares to it in the world. So I wanted to invite you, if you're watching this, if you resonate with me, I am having a special twin flame live tarot reading on Saturday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. This Saturday, the 7th of February. I want to invite each of you to be there. You get it free. You get free entry when you get my Twin Flame Tarot Mastery course. So this is a course that is a digital course for you that teaches you how to read cards for yourself. This is one other method of like healing, is reading cards. Like, for example, I always have a card deck near me. So I've got the Angels and Auras Oracle deck on my coffee table here. And it just kind of also helps you, in addition to the mirror exercise, to understand yourself and to have clarity about yourself. So the way that I read cards is based on twin flames and the teachings of union, and I want to share that with you. That's what my course is for, and if you sign up for the course, you get free entry to my live reading. It's a place for you to ask questions and get an answer through the cards. So you can sign up in the description box. I've got the link to that. I hope to see some of you there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.